Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we are at DNS and we are starting a brand new season in Australia. We are off to go again. And what a great start, because as soon as we come in here, we are flipping wet. Yes, yes, I'm very wet for this track. No, I'm not. I hate this track. But you can see it is a wet qualifying and a wet race, fully wet. So, which wasn't, I didn't have too much issue because I actually did some wet running and found a setup that I was fairly okay with in the wet, and I'm very thankful I did. Anyways, first lap in the wet, we come across the line and do a 39 flat, which is fine. I went to go do another lap, but I think I'm validated it, and I came in, and as I was coming in, I had a quick look at the tyres in the Delta, and the intermediate was the tyre to be on, so this is near the end of the session now, so I took a gamble. Even though the game was telling me not to think about changing it, I said no. And went out, and here I'm going to have a very unfortunate incident where we accidentally block Caesar. I didn't see him come down the straight until really late, and I just made a horrible mess of it. I put on the worst possible place was the apex, and I ruined his lap, unfortunately. So apologies to him. I will accept anything that comes my way as a result of that. Anyways, we move on to the actual qualifying lap, and it's going very well. I was feeling like, oh, we could be off for pole here, someone very high. And yeah, we invalidate it, and I think, okay, is there enough time to get over back to the start finish straight? And look at this shit, we missed out by 2 seconds on getting another lap in, and others take advantage of it. You're going to see basically how it shook down. So there you go, Mercedes on pole. All the guys who've gotten the inters took the top positions, and so anyways, it is P7 for me, and here we go. Holy shit, don't bin it too much, let's go. Decent start, we get there, start from P7. Just take them very cautiously. You don't want wing damage at all in any circumstance, but definitely not in the wet. Just take it nice and easy, and we make it through. Good. Comes the second phase now, heading down to turn 3. We get alongside HYT in behind Steve, and this is, I feel like I get a good slipstream here. I could maybe think about a move. Very sloppy stuff here. I just get my car parked in all the wrong places, and anyways, but we all come through okay, and we settle into P6 there. Not sure, oh yeah, but we jumped HYT, that's what happened. And now we're through the start phase, and just all this is just, oh, that was a bit of a scruffy moment. All of this is just kind of feeling for the conditions and where everything is, and it's very interesting, but it's nerve-wracking to drive. So anyway, we get through unscathed, and moving on to lap 2, we can see there's a bit of a train begin to form here. It is actually from the lead. Steve managed to get himself into first, so we're just kind of following suit, just kind of getting the feel for the conditions. And you're going to see the pole sitter Mercandies has an off, and he is into the barrier, and that's very unfortunate for him. Oh, we almost hit the back of Steve there. Unfortunate for Mercandies, he's got on pole. I'm sure he'd be very disappointed in how that turned out. When you're from pole, you do have an element of control. Anyways, moving on to lap 3, we are settling into 5th place now, behind Show George, and I think that's Stephen Moser up ahead. Think about going to move from George. We get a bit sloppy, very sloppy. So I go wide, kind of give him as much space as possible coming back through, and we're going to try and fight this, and we lose out there, and HYT is going to come up our outside rather, and oh bloody hell, this is painful to watch. Very, very sloppy on my part, but the conditions are pretty terrible. I'm just thinking about so many things at one time, so apologies for that. Anyways, we got HYT on the front of us, Carl on the left, and Carl is going to bail out of this one, and we can move through there and keep our down to P6. Moving on to the end of lap 3, HYT is actually going to drop out here. I'm not sure if he had a connection or if he just left. Anyways, unfortunate for him, because I think if he'd kept going, he would have got some good points. But anyways, that's P5 for us, and we can move on to lap 4. And now, oh sorry, we are in lap 4. Did I cut there for some reason? Anyways, now that we actually got some clear air, yeah, we can get the hammer down a little bit, and we set the purple lap time there. So you can see we have some relative decent pace as we chase down Show George. Steve has already cleared him, and Moser now at this stage is bearing down on Steve. We come out of this lap 8 now. We're going to have to think about having a look. We're kind of just observing here behind Moser and Show. I felt like I was faster than both of them, but due to various bits and bobs, just wasn't in the track position that was reflective, I thought, of where I was. Anyways, they're going to come together, kind of scrap here, and it's going to allow us to really close up. And I think about, by the way, fuel is a massive killer on this track. Everyone was struggling for fuel, it seems, in the wet. It was really weird. Anyways, just observing this, just keeping close. Now we're going to get a run on Moser. See if we can think about getting the move done there. Not really. Good run out of here, but you don't want to go up the inside there. That's a very bad move. He goes wide. We're going to stick with it, and we're going to keep. So, anyways, that was the situation. Moser now is in 4th. That's our next target, and we now move on to later lap 9. Moser's going to have another go at Show George. Side by side, I'm just chilling. I'm just waiting for the opportunity. There's a gap. We think about it, and then we're going to take this on the outside, late as he can on the brakes. Lots of space left. George can't really do anything because Moser's in front, so his exit's compromised, and we get that move done and move into P4. Very nice. So P3 is definitely a possibility now at this stage. I think P1 and 2 are fairly out of the question with Steve there. Lap 12 has behind Moser. Carl has now got past George as well, and Moser is going to have it off here, I believe. We just get such a better run out of that turn, and we have to swerve to avoid it. I'm going to think about going down the inside, late as you can on the brakes. Exit's compromised, and Moser's going to get the run on the inside there, and I think we're going to have to forfeit this position. We're going to try to brake as late as I can. He's going to have the inside line. We leave him the space. Not much I can really do about that. He parks on the apex there. I can't do anything about it, and Carl is going to slide through to P4. And at this stage now, I was already kind of thinking about a switch to intermediates. I know Stefan had a set of fastest lap with Inters, and so I actually took the moment while I was bit of a corner cut. While I was actually stuck behind these two, I actually took it upon myself to have a look at I looked at Mercandies in the end and see what times the Inters were doing, and they were doing 40s and 41s, whereas these wets were doing 42s at least. So I thought now, being in P5, this would be a great opportunity to try the undercut and see what we can do. Moser runs wide there. Carl's going to slip through. We could have got that, but we're going to pit and we're going to switch to the intermediate in its time. Show George actually, Carl got ahead because Show George actually switched to the Inters a lap or two earlier. So I was wary of the undercut on him. That's what I was thinking about. You can actually see the Red Bull mechanics have just come back in. Steve had just put on the Inters, as you can see there, and our teammate's going to do the same thing. Anyways, the person we're watching for is Show George, because that's part of who we're racing today, and see where he ends up. You know, he's going to be coming down this start-finish straight. You can see him on the map. I was worried, a little bit worried about kind of maybe will I get this done. Sorry, Show George was on the wet. Sorry, I thought he pitted onto the Inters, but he actually pitted onto the wet. And we get that jump on him, so I was happy with that. He didn't overtake us with the undercut. Next lap 13 going to lap 14, Carl is going to come into the pits, and we get that undercut done on him, so very happy about that. Carl actually had wing damage from lap 1, so he elected not to change the wing, and we managed to get that jump done. Moser is going to also come into the pits, and you can see we set the fastest lap, and Moser is going to come out, I think on the wets or the Inters, I'm not too sure. Anyways, we get the jump on him, and there is our P3 that I always thought was there, but kind of had to wait to kind of see how things figured out. And now from here on out, we're just going to be extending the gap over Carl. Not much we can do with the two cars in front, so we're going to gradually, over the next course of the next like 13 laps or whatever, we're extending our lead to Carl. Like 3.7 seconds was the last one. Next one, 8 seconds here on the Inters. So, oops, my alarm. So that was basically the race, really. The big thing for me in this race was getting up to P3, getting the undercut, getting past those that gaggle of coming on top on that gaggle of Carl, Show George, Moser, and I think that's it. So, anyways, we got that done convincingly in the end, and Steve won the race. Congratulations to Steve winning on the wheel. I know that's not easy to do in the wet. Steve in second, and we get P3, and I was very happy with that. Australia is not a track I particularly enjoy, but look, we got it done. P3, a very solid start to the championship, I have to say. I have high expectations of this championship. I think it could come in the top 3, and I reckon these two on the podium will also be right up there with me. So we shall see. Anyways, fair play to Steve for that win. That was a cracking win. He was under pressure for from Steve from behind for about 13, 14 laps, and managed to keep it in the end. So well earned. Difficult conditions. I wasn't expecting the switch to inters. I thought it would the game said heavy rain for the entire race, so I was expecting that it would be a wet one for the entire race, but that we would be on the wet compound for the entire race, but not to be. The inters were the right one to go on. So thank you, Stefan and Mercandies, for making that early jump, so I could get a fair idea of the right move to make. And once I fell behind Carl, I think that was the perfect time to kind of have a look. I had nothing else to lose, and so we made the right switch and we got P3. Anyways, that's it. China is next. Track I quite enjoy, so I look forward to that one very much.